What's up, everybody? This is Soundbites here. So today I have the story about the time I took 30 plus tabs of LSD. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the life story. So pretty much this takes place back in 2016. So I was 16 years old at the time, right? And I know before I get into this story, that is crazy. I know, 16 years old doing 30 plus tabs of LSD. A matter of fact, any age doing 30 plus tabs of LSD is crazy. But let's just continue on with the story. So pretty much 30 plus tabs, and I had no idea that I was going to do that much this particular day. This particular day was like any other summer day. Me and all my friends are hanging out. We're having a great time. We're all chilling, and pretty much the only variable is that I'm on probation, right? I can't smoke. I can't drink. I really can't do much of anything. The only thing that I could really do is do psychedelics, right? Because they don't show up on a drug test. So me and all my friends are hanging out. They're all smoking, drinking, having a great time. And pretty much they throw out the idea. They're like, why don't we go to New York City and just turn up and just fucking get completely fucked up tonight? And I was down. I was like, let's go do it. Pretty much then I was like, how am I gonna get fucked up because I can't smoke or drink? Then I realized I have like 250 tabs of acid on me. I'm like, I'm just gonna do a shit ton of acid. I was like, fuck it. That's pretty much what I'm gonna do. At this point, I've done maybe 10 max in my time. Like at one time, 10 max. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to double that. I don't know why I thought this. I was just trying to get as fucked up as I could. And I was like, I'm just going to double it. And pretty much that's what I was dead set on doing. So we all head out to the train station. It's about a 45-minute ride to Penn Station from where we were at. And Penn Station is pretty much smack dab in the middle of Times Square. We get on the train and we start heading out. All my friends are clowning me because I'm on probation. I can't smoke, I can't drink. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? I'm not sharing any of my acid with anybody. I'm just not gonna do it. And I was like, these are all for me. And I made the bad decision of being like, I'm just gonna take a bunch of fucking acid. So I dumped about 30 on my hand. It was probably more than 30 to be honest with you. So I take about 30 on my hand, dump them right in my mouth. And I got a wad of paper in my mouth, and I'm talking like a wad. I'm sitting there chewing on it, just trying to get like the acid out of the paper, and I'm just sitting there with it in my mouth. And my friends are all looking at me and they're like, what in the actual fuck? Like, you literally just took that much acid? Like, they were just astonished. And I was like, yeah, pretty much I'm gonna fucking trip balls. And everybody else starts throwing money at me and they're like, can we get some, blah, blah, blah. So I'm taking the money and I'm giving them some. And I just pretty much forgot about all the clowning bullshit. I didn't really care. So took the money, gave them whatever they were getting, and pretty much they were all tripping too. And we're all heading out to the city, and about 30 minutes go by and I'm starting to feel a little bit wonky, starting to feel a little weird. Nothing too crazy. I'm just, coming up. And then about another 15 minutes go by. We finally get to the train station and, we exit and we're in Times Square. And at this point, I'm like, wow, like things are definitely getting weird, right? Looking around, it's kind of daylight time, but sun's getting ready to go down in about an hour or two. But I'm looking around in the meantime and I'm just astonished. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, everything is so pretty. Like, this is nuts. I'm looking at all the buildings and like the structures of the buildings, and I'm looking at the sky paired with it, and it's like water. It's just like fluid water. And I'm like, wow, like I'm only on the come up right now, and I feel like I'm like tripping on 10 tabs like at a peak. Like, so I feel like I'm at the peak of being on 10 tabs, but this is the beginning of my 30 tab plus LSD trip. So I'm pretty much like, wow, like this is mind blowing. And pretty much I get bombarded by this fucking tweaker, right? This random tweaker bombards us the second we get off the train. And he's like, hey, you guys got yak, you guys got Zans, you got lean, you got any like blow? And I'm starting to think like, all right, this guy's a cop. Like I start getting in my head, I'm like, this guy's a fucking cop. And then I get a good look at him and I'm like, no, you know what? Never mind. Scratch that. This guy is a straight up tweaker, like certified tweaker, straight out of Tweakerville. And he pretty much just does not stop bothering me. So I'm feeling generous. I dump out like 1 or 2 tabs on my hand and I'm like, here, take these. Put them in his hand. He goes completely ecstatic. And he's like, oh my gosh, I haven't done acid in like 20 years. Thank you so much. and he runs off, and I don't know where he goes. We end up seeing him later on down the line, but I'll save that until the end. So pretty much we're getting ready, we're walking around, and at this point, I'd say it's about 1 or 2 hours later at this point in the story. Sun's going down, and I'm starting to really feel the acid, right? And I'm thinking back, I'm like, I just gave that guy about 1 or 2 tabs about an hour or two ago, so he's probably tripping too. And for some reason, that in my head made me feel all right. I'm like, okay, somebody else out there, even though he's a tweaker, he's tripping as well. So I'm not the only one, plus my friends are tripping. And I'm just starting to think about all these things, and I'm like getting overloaded with thoughts. It's like just complete overload. Plus all the lights are starting to come on in the city, and it's like complete sensory overload. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like this is a lot. All the sounds, everything, it was just like a flood, just a complete flood of sounds and noises, smells. And I just felt like a huge sponge, like just taking it all in. And all the cars are going by, and they sound like spaceships going by, like just spaceships. People are going by, and I'm able to like dissect every single conversation, every single word that's being spoken. And at this point, I have absolutely no idea how I'm walking in a straight line with my group of people and how we all stuck together. To this day, I have no idea. So we're just walking down the road, and pretty much I'm like, guys, let's go over to the forest. And they have no idea what I'm talking about. We're in the city, right? We're in New York City. They're like, what forest could you be talking about? And I was pretty much talking about Central Park, right? So we all head over to Central Park, and I am just like, I'm in Wonderland. Like, I'm looking at all the trees, and I'm like, oh my gosh, trees in advanced civilization? Like, there's trees, nature in a advanced civilization. And I'm just looking, and I'm like comparing, and I'm like, wow, that is crazy. Like they infiltrated advanced civilization, but we infiltrated them, and there's like a part of them here. And like I'm just talking about this to my friends, and they're all just like, what the fuck am I going on about? So pretty much I'm just going off on my head, and pretty much what I remember is I'm standing up on this rock in Central Park, and I'm looking around, and I see a light, right? A light coming from the city. And I'm like, guys, you see that light? What is that? And all my friends look, and they're like, oh, what do you think it is? And I'm like, I don't know, but we need to get to that light. And they're like, okay, let's go. So we all start heading there, and we head right back into Times Square. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like looking around, I'm like, wow, that is fucking amazing. Like all the lights. I was like, oh my God. And I feel somebody grab my shoulder. I turn around, and it's the fucking tweaker dude. He's fucking standing behind me. And he's like, thank you so much. I am fucking tripping balls, and I'm having a great fucking time. And he fucking throws his arms in the air, yells really loud, and he fucking runs away, and I never see the guy again. That's literally what he said to me. I don't even know how he found me. Like, I just don't know. At this point, I am just so overjoyed with my life. I don't know why. I'm just so ecstatic. And I'm just looking around at all these lights, and eventually I just start spinning in a circle, and I wind up in the middle of the intersection in Times Square, just spinning in a circle. There's probably a video of it out there somewhere. Just fucking some drugged up 16-year-old spinning in a circle, staring up at the sky. And as I'm doing this, it just looks like all the lights are spiraling, and they just continuously keep spiraling out of control. And eventually one of my friends grabbed me, dragged me back onto the sidewalk, and we keep walking. And we're just finishing off the night. I am peaking super hard at this point. And at one point we're walking, right? And everything we're saying, we're like laughing, we're having a good time. And I hear like an echo, and I'm like, okay, I can't be tripping that hard to be hearing a literal echo like in my head. So I hear this really loud pronounced echo, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? So like I start looking around, right? I'm like, this echo just louder and louder and louder, and it's following every word. So I look around, and I see this old man, right? He looks like a professor, and he's walking pretty much behind us. And he's mocking every single word, every single laugh. He's just mocking it. And then he turns off, and he looks back at us, and he goes, stay away from drugs. And then pretty much disappears. Never see him again. I'm like, wow, so much weird symbolic shit is happening today. Like, I don't know what's going on. And pretty much I'm just like, la-di-da-di-da, just keep going about my day, tripping absolute balls. So we end up getting on the train, we end up going back home, right? Pretty much, we don't exactly make it back home in the correct fashion that we wanted to, right? And what I mean by that is we didn't just get home unscathed. So we stop off at one train station in particular. Now this train station is not in the best of areas, to say the least, right? We all get out, we're waiting for the train to come again, and pretty much all my friends are smoking. And I'm starting to come down off this trip. Somehow, I'm starting to come down. I'm starting to be able to control myself a little bit better, being that my tolerance to acid was already so high at this point in my life. I think I was able to control myself a little better, being that I just did that much acid. And pretty much, I'm sitting there, just having a good time with my friends talking, and I see a car circle the train station parking lot 2 times, right? 2 times. And I'm looking at the car and I'm just thinking, I'm like, is that an undercover? Like, I don't know why, but I just think it's an undercover. I see it circle one more time and I look through the windshield and I see a light shining onto the passenger's face and he's looking at the console. So I'm like, console. I was like, oh my God, it has to be a cop because they're looking at a monitor. So I immediately turn around. I say to my friend, go, it's the cops. And I start walking up the train station and pretty much he's like, this guy's fucking nuts. He lost it. So I start walking off on my own because none of my friends listen to me. Little do I know, another hand right on my shoulder. This time, it's not a tweaker that I just gave acid to. It's a guy wearing a leather jacket and he's got a badge hanging from his chest. Fucking throws me up against the wall of the train station. Next thing I know, all my friends are in a line, about 9 of them, and they're getting patted down by his partner, and I'm getting patted down by the guy that I guess was driving. Pretty much, the other guy backs up off my friends that he was just patting down, points his gun up at my friend who's standing on the roof of the train station, right? I didn't even see him get up there. He literally scaled the side of the train station, like up a pipe, and ended up on top of the train station, and he's just standing up there tripping balls, just fucking mumbling, making all kinds of weird noises or whatever. And the cop's like, get down off the roof of the train station right fucking now. He was like, get the fuck down. And pretty much my friend's like, how am I supposed to get down? I don't even know how I got up here. And he's like, the way you just got up there off that fucking pipe, whatever the fuck it is, just get down off there and you better do it fucking safe. I don't want to have to call a fucking ambulance. And my friend's like, why don't I just do a flip? And he's like, don't fucking do that. And my friend goes to run to do a flip. The cop fucking pretty much is like, all right, when you get down, I'm arresting you. So my friend finally is like, all right, fuck it, I'm coming down. He comes down, cop fucking throws him up against the wall, aggressively pats him down. And then eventually at this point, I'm like, I am fucked. Because I literally have about 200 something tabs left on me. And I have a few $100s in cash. And I also had a concealed weapon. I had brass knuckles on me. Pretty much he finds the brass knuckles. He's like, oh, look what we just got. You're going to jail. I'm like, no, I'm on probation. Like, this cannot fucking happen. This is so bad. And he's like, what if I just search the rest of your bag, huh? What else am I going to find? And I'm like, if you want to, you can dump out my whole bag. Like, I'll dump it out for you. I have nothing to hide. Pretty much I had 200 something tabs in there. I said that in order for him to be like, okay, somebody that's hiding something would not say that. So pretty much he's getting ready to dump my bag out. And he goes, you know what? I have bigger fish to fry than waste my time with you amateurs. He was like, you guys better get home safe. If I don't see you guys walk your asses onto that platform, I'm arresting everybody here. And I guarantee you I'll find more and you guys will be more fucked. And he was like, don't fuck around this neighborhood, you'll get killed. And then he pretty much says, you guys got that? We all agree. And he's like, all right, let's go. They both get up, they leave, pretty much stomped out some weed that my friend had. That was about it. He took my brass knuckles. They leave. We hop back on the train, head out back home. We all conversate about it, talking about how crazy it was. And pretty much that was my experience doing 30 plus tabs of acid. Fucking nuts. Absolutely just crazy experience. But without further ado, guys, that's the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Soundbites, and I'm out. Peace.